Hello, this is Master347, so I play for 5 and 3 ounces. And last time we did chapter 18, King's Triumphant Return. And we finally freed his homeland from that traitorous witch of a woman. But yes, he is now feels like he's a proper king again. But man, that chapter took a few bad turns. But I pulled through, barely. But anywho, yeah, about me skipping sometimes, if videos are too long, like, if I have support conversations, I might just skip those and show those off later on. Because if the videos are going to take too long anyway, because I can show off support conversations at any time. I'm going to do from now on is, so I'm doing like exploration video, which is going to be today's video right here. I put my support conversations in there, because those videos are pretty short anyway, it's just looking around and doing events, and they won't take nearly as long now. So yeah, that's why. So speaking of which, I was actually going to show off these extras right here in support conversations, but I cut them out because of how long the actual battle was. So yes, I can show these off right now. These aren't going to be cut out or anything this time, because I'm literally just I'm literally just exploring today, not doing any battles. That's how I do the format. But anyway, let's do one with Ingrid. There was only 2 anyway, so the first one was with Ingrid, and then one was the main character and someone else. Let's do this one first. But yes, I am sorry about that, guys.
Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand a truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone, but perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh? Well then, Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to support and defend me. As my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, of course. Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business. Putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it, do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance.
And there we go. And the other one is with main character. And Lawrence. Nope, that was it. Yep.
Well met, Professor. I trust that you have not had any complaints about me lately. Good. For any trouble I may have caused, please accept my most humble apology. I've decided that it would be inappropriate for me to continue my search for a spouse while we are at war. I expect that means you will not be receiving any more complaints. I hope that puts you more at ease. Actually, the introspection I've gained setting aside my search has motivated me to amend my conduct. Not the phrasing I'd choose, but you're not wrong. Selfishly pursuing my own desires caused me to behave inconsiderately. For instance, it was arrogant and rude to invite ladies to dine with me purely to evaluate them. Our experiences in battle have also given me cause to doubt certain preconceptions I once held. Previously, I had considered it a requirement for my future spouse to come from a noble line. I once thought that commoners lacked the power to influence the wider world, as history might suggest. To find a commoner who made a real impact, one has to look all the way back to Nemesis. That was my belief at any rate. But I realized that I've actually had an influential commoner right in front of me all along. Don't you see? I'm referring to you. You may wield the power of a crest, but you are so much more than just that. You have managed to charm everyone around you, to compel them to trust and follow you. Though you may not realize it, that is no mean feat. It is altering the course of history in Fodlan. Your example puts my prior beliefs to shame. I appreciate the kind words. I have always sought to embody the ideal of nobility. That, at least, is a goal I continue to stand by. But now I know that bloodline alone is not sufficient to gauge a person's worth. I've learned much of this from you. You are humble and open-minded, despite your power and skill. That is why I, at least, find you so charismatic. Perhaps that is the wrong way to say it. What I mean is that you set an admirable example. I can only hope someday to be your equal. Of course, you had better keep an eye on me, because I can achieve anything I set out to do. For I am none other than the handsome and talented Lawrence Hellman Gloucester.
And there we go. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I am not doing this on purpose. If a video has been way too long, then you know, and I don't want to cut into 2 parts. Besides, these are just support conversations, and I can show these off any time. So yes, for now, let's start with a new chapter. Chapter 19. Yeah, and I need to talk about this because something's going to pop up here where I haven't seen in a while, and I need to talk about this particular thing because it's actually game breaking. You see what I'm talking about soon enough.
Part 2. Azure Moon. Garland Moon. The Golden Deer's Plea. The Kingdom Army has reclaimed the Kingdom capital and plans to immediately begin restoring the country and its forces. But an unexpected request arrives from Claude, leader of the Leicester Alliance. Dimitri promptly responds to the request for aid, and he rushes to prepare the Kingdom's forces.
I guess any of the enemy is a friend? Although I don't think Claude is really any enemy. It felt more like some kind of misunderstanding. Considering the state Dimitri was in, he wasn't really listening to reason, but now he's himself again. I have a feeling that things might go a bit more smoothly. Oh.
We have received a request for aid from the Alliance. They are being invaded by the Empire. We have only just taken back Ferdiad, and yet I am already asking all of you to move out once more. Please accept my apologies for that.
That's no problem at all. More importantly, how is the Alliance faring?
House Regan has rallied the Alliance lords. They are facing the enemy with all the strength they can muster. We do not know how far that will get them. It seems the enemy's relentless attacks have forced them into a tough situation. Their defeat at Gronder severely weakened the Alliance. I imagine the Empire now intends to destroy them before they can recover.
To think they'd watch us chase their soldiers out of the Kingdom capital, then immediately go invade the Alliance. Their general is Lord Volkard von Arundel. He serves as regent to the Emperor. He has presumably taken command after the Emperor was wounded in Gronder.
He is known for his shrewdness and excels not only in domestic affairs, but tactics as well. He is not an opponent we should take lightly. Lord Arundel. I always suspected that Lord Arundel was behind the tragedy 9 years ago. The timing of his departure from the kingdom, the fact that he abruptly stopped making donations. Too many factors made him suspect. If Lord Arundel conspired with Cornelia, then what Kronya and the others said 5 years ago? Well, never mind that for now. The Alliance needs our help. What are your thoughts?
If we turn our back on the Alliance and then Deirdre falls, it will undoubtedly make our situation difficult further down the road. We would have enemies in two directions. In the Alliance to the northeast, and in the Empire to the south.
That is true. In that scenario, we would not be able to safely march our soldiers to Enbar.
I am terribly worried about Lady Rhea, but I believe we must save the Alliance first.
Oh, maybe if we do this, the Alliance will help us out in return. We could ask them to help us attack the Empire. You know, a sneak attack or something.
Annie, when did you become so devious?
What would your mother think?
What? It wasn't that devious.
What do you think, Professor?
Yes, I agree. I will admit that there is something to be gained for us as well, for when we eventually march south. But far more importantly, they need us. We cannot turn our backs on them. We will arrange to head out at once. Prepare yourselves, everyone.
It's good to have the old Dimitri back. He's thinking like a king. Give flowers.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with too much anymore, because I got everyone's supports up to the point, so it's really kind of pointless to keep doing it over and over again. But okay, now for some serious talk time. There's a paralogue right here. It's actually the last paralogue in the game we're gonna do, the Silver Maiden with Dimitri. Now I've heard horror stories about this, where it actually breaks your game in a way. If you try to save during the paralogue, like literally during it, I've heard that it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, or, well, basically I've heard that, how long does it last? To the 8th of 20, we've still got a bit of time to that. I heard that actually breaks your game, like if you try to save or something, it gets like stuck on a screen or something. So yeah, I recommend that you tread lightly. Better yet, make a separate save file, like, if you're going to do the paralogue now, just save a separate save file or something. Or if you're going to save on that paralogue, save that in a separate save file. Either way, you can get back to this screen right here. Because you do not want to get stuck and have to play for the whole game again. We're near the end of the game now as it is, so yeah. I don't know if they fixed this, but I'm not taking any chances. Luckily, I always save a separate save file anyway, because I'm recording. But I just don't want you guys fall into that same trap. But anyway, here's some supports. We got a few here. So it's not bad. But I'll do those a bit afterwards. For now, I'm going to do a bit more exploring. Also, I think I've almost got my level with my professor to A+. So I might be able to show that off. Let's see. Only one, eh? Dried vegetables and a turnip. That's it. And I guess it's guilt again, isn't it? Yep, seems to be in for the most part. Do I have that for that though? Let's have a quick look, see. Oh, there's Gilbert.
Speaking of which, with the capital recaptured, I desire to call him Your Majesty rather than Your Highness. He would refuse my desire, rightfully pointing out that he has not as yet been crowned. However, the day this war is ended, and the Church has placed the crown upon his head, then he will truly be our king, and I will call him Your Majesty at last. I must go hear the reports from our spies. There is something worrying me, and... No, it can wait. I shall tell you more when our information is more concrete. I have a request.
Okay. Do we have those?
With the capital, he would, however, then he... I shall tell you...
Damn it. I guess I don't. Let's see. Dried vegetables and a turnip. It was like before, I may need to do some more gardening. Let's see. Check the vegetables. Let's see. Oh, I got a turnip. So that's it. Let's see. No, I never really dried vegetables. Alright, most likely then I'm going to have to do some more planting. That's going to be annoying. Let me have a quick look at the market.
What?
Hello!
I don't think they have what I'm looking for. Nope, not dried vegetables at least.
Tell your friends!
Welcome!
So yep, you can go back here and still buy some stuff. Don't think we need Master Seals anymore. Or maybe for our main character, but that's
Come
about
back
it.
soon.
Okay then. There's only like that one quest. But yes, watch out for that paralog. I highly recommend that instead you just watch out for that. Where's Dimitri? Let's have a talk with him now that he's back. Sort of.
Let's see. It was over 20 years ago. There was an illness raging across Ferdiad, while people were dying left and right. It was Cornelia who saved the kingdom from that dreadful illness. Neither can I. By the time I was old enough to understand, that time had already passed. People praised Cornelia as a saint for ending the epidemic. But there came a day when she completely changed. Her behavior, mannerisms, likes, dislikes, everything. Despite all that, Father still appointed her to a high post. After all, she had saved the kingdom from ruin by that disease. But above all, my stepmother trusted her. That's why what that woman said is... Never mind.
True. But okay, off screen I'm gonna pretty much eat a bunch of stuff. And probably like go to the cathedral and all that as usual. And then basically I think I'll get back to you guys once I want to do more support, or more importantly, maybe show the Professor level. So I'll see you guys then. Hello, and I am back. And yep, I figured out what I need to do to try and get those dried vegetables. It's actually really simple. You see the plant actual vegetables. So that's what we're going to do. However, I heard to not cultivate them. So I'm not going to do that. Professor level is almost there. I think I'll do exploration one more time off screen. I'll most likely get it to an A+. So yes. So I should be able to get it by then. So I'm almost there. But yeah. But for now, let's see what supports we've unlocked. Not too many of them. I'm choking a little bit on trying to meet you in Annette to get him to A as well. Perhaps I should be able to do that off screen or something during any battles and get support level up as well, so there's that. But alright then, let's do supports. Okay, everyone else is already motivation maxed out. Let's do this first, and then see you guys after basically I've got my support level managed to make the next part. See you guys in a bit once I've done through these. Let's see, where should I go through first? I want to do this one first.
You, get over here.
Get over here? How about I tell you to get out of here?
You're always following me around. At least make yourself useful. Let's spar.
What? Are you serious?
I don't joke. Draw your weapon, unless you intend to fight without one.
If you want to train, then do it on your own.
If you don't attack first, I will.
Okay. If you want me to knock some sense into you, who am I to say no?
For someone whose only aspiration is marriage, you're pretty strong.
Is this your attempt at flattery? Oh, it is, isn't it? When I was in the opera, I always trained for self-defense. Couldn't really get by without it. Nowadays, if you can't use a sword, then you're just in the way.
Perhaps I had you all wrong. I thought you were just a frivolous girl who cared only for men of status. On the contrary, you seem well aware of the realities of the world. I respect that.
Yeah, all right. I'm beat. I'm going to go sit down and relax with a cup of tea. You'll join me, naturally.
I will?
We just trained together. Are you really going to turn me down?
Just this once.
Good. Let's go for tea. While we're at it, shall you treat me to a meal?
Don't get carried away.
No, you're no fun.
May I help you, Seteth?
Finally noticed me, I see. Good to see that you are so dedicated to your training.
Do you have need of my sword?
No, this is not a military matter. I would like to discuss the distance you seem to be keeping from the others.
Distance? I don't follow.
I have noticed that you like to keep others at arm's length, and in most cases, quite a bit further.
Keeping a close eye on me. They don't share my values, that's all.
Is that why you train alone? Because your friends do not share your values?
You seem displeased. I suppose you're going to tell me, to defeat your enemies, you must have dependable allies.
That's not exactly how I would phrase it, but having good relationships with your allies is essential in combat. I am sure you realize that it is easier to bond with people when you interact with them more. There are limits to what one person can do alone. Great things cannot be achieved without allies.
You sound like my father. You're saying it's in my own interest to make friends?
To put it simply, yes. As much as you possibly can. To be honest, I envy you, because I know what it is like to not have many people to call friends.
I wouldn't have guessed that. There are so many devout believers.
I am talking about friends. People to speak with on equal terms. You have many friends here. You should take care to attend to them.
I'll consider your advice, but I'm not usually one to change my mind.
To be young.
Why am I so unlucky with women lately?
Oh, Sylvain, what's that face for? Have you been dumped again?
Isn't there an unwritten rule you shouldn't ask someone that?
I'm sorry. I thought you didn't mind being dumped. So your love life can get you down sometimes after all. Who knew?
I'm sad every time I break up with someone. It's just, I usually try to be the one doing the breaking up. I've never had a hard time with girls. Ever. Not until recently. But now when I think about it, I wonder what any of them even liked about me. It's not as if any of them knew much about me. I don't get it.
Isn't that what a relationship is for? Learning about someone else? You can't know it all right at the start.
I asked you before if you would have invited me out if I was a peasant.
You did ask me that, yes.
That was wrong of me to say. It's not an excuse, but I'm always so suspicious. I'm a nobleman with a crest. The marriage proposals don't stop coming. Everybody wants me, except they don't actually want me at all. They want my bloodline. Within my family and without. It's always the same story. Sometimes I think that if I didn't have a crest, no one would look at me twice.
I see. And you're probably not wrong. Honestly, I've had those same sort of thoughts myself.
Oh? What sort of thoughts might those be?
I sang, people cheered and applauded, and when I walked off stage, I'd find the same thing every night. A mountain of presents and marriage proposals. But none of those people knew me. All they knew was the singer they saw on the stage. All they wanted was my looks and my voice. None of them even tried to get to know the real me.
I'm pretty sure I've heard this somewhere.
We may come from different places, but we're much the same, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I suppose we are. Look, Dorothea, I've realized something. Even if you were an old grandma, I'd still flirt with you. And I'd absolutely win you over. Though, I'd much rather win you over now. And be with you until you become an old grandma.
That might be the most legitimately romantic thing you've ever said, Sylvain. And I can't say I disagree. I'd rather you win me over now, too. So that I can stay by your side until you're an old grandpa.
Well, before any of that, will you go to dinner with me?
I'd be happy to.
Alright then. That's it. Maybe one of my streams might ask a question. I might be able to get the first level then. Or at least get super close. Actually, speaking of which, let me save first if it's save file. If they do ask a question, then if I get it wrong, I can just reset and try again. Because near the end of the game now, and I really want to get those A+. I want to at least get to A+. I don't know if I'll make it to S rank in time, but I'll try. Here we go, Instruct Manly. At this point, most of my allies are now Masterclass. Even Dedue, even though I'm still using him as a Fortress Knight. But again, I'll be right back once I've done all this. So I'll see you guys then. Alright, and I am back. Not much else to think about now. One thing I'm going to try though. Do I have a Master Seal? If I have. I don't have one left. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Swing it over to Immortus Avant. I doubt it's going to work because of my super bad luck. But this won't really matter because everyone else is at the Masterclass need to be. Again, Dedue is already a great knight. See? Otherwise that wouldn't pop up. Basically, I just need to go into Master his other skill, which I've almost done. That's why I gave him that skill gem. So I should be able to do that in time, hopefully. But for the most part, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, we got much else to do, quite frankly. So, yeah. Alright. Let's see what's turning to more Savant. See if it works this time. Thank you! Jeez. Third time's a charm. Literally. Gotta try it twice.
I've set my sights higher.
There we go. Good. Need something else for a change. As for Dimitri, I'm sticking him to where he was at the moment. The Great Lord. But I'm not sure where he should be afterwards. It's true, there is a Great Knight, but heavy armor and access B, and I'm probably going to do that. At this point, I think I'm just going to leave him as he is now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to keep switching back and forth now. Felix might be the exception. What I do is, as soon as he's mastered more Savant, I think I'm just going to make him into a dancer again. Having a dancer and unique ability is pretty sweet. I might make Ash Peng to a paladin, because their Aegis ability is pretty sweet to have. Antoinette and Mercedes, they're doing pretty well as they are now, but I guess technically maybe I can make them into these. Maybe. But at this point it doesn't really matter that much. Mercedes has a master ability now actually. Let's see what that ability she learns. Let's check that real quick, because that's pretty much a high-end one. Is it an ability or a combat skill? I can't remember. Let's see, Mercedes. There we go. Grants magic plus HP when HP is below 20%. Oh, yeah, that's alright, but not that great actually. I thought it'd be much better than that. Huh. Oh well. Okay then, so next time what I'm gonna do is this parallel chapter. Off screen I'm going to do Battle in the Empire, just to, you know, get some extra gold, and then just go straight into that one. But yeah, like I said, I recommend saving a separate save file just in case. I'm probably going to save my current save file after this battle, but when I turn it to this one, I'm going to save a separate save file, so that way if something does go wrong, then I won't be stuck. Because if that's the case, then I might have to do the whole thing in one go. Probably. Or you could just cancel your save. You could save it just after doing that one battle I did, but then if I do the other battle, I could just not save entirely and stuff, and then wait until I do all that, and then actually that might be a better option. Oh, I have to think when I get to it. I'm going to do more research on it and see if it's been fixed to make sure, because I do not want to break my game. Look, I have a separate save file and stuff, so it would be known to go back towards the other one, but it wouldn't be like a huge loss per se. But yeah, oh yeah, also that chapter I checked, yeah, it is just that random thief of a bow. No device there, it's really random, and I guess I didn't have Annette there using that magical weapon, I would have missed out on a pretty nice bow. But as usual, off screen, just gonna check my items inventory and make sure we need repairing, the usual stuff, the big new. But yeah, we're doing pretty well now for ourselves. Near the end of the game. But that is Maximum 347, game with the type of RPG platformer. Stay classy.